Good morning. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your day. And I know that I've been talking a lot about this book, Extreme Ownership, by Jocko Willink, and we've now covered all the 12 chapters. And I wanted to cover off the books that I've read this year and hear from you if any of you have been watching over the last couple of weeks or listened to or seen any of the comments or posts about Extreme Ownership or any of the things that I've been doing. If you have any book recommendations that you think are worthy of reading, whether it be leadership or personal development or whatever it might be, let me know. I'm just going to cover off the books that I read in 2020. It's been a bit of a rough year, but it's given me time to read a lot of books or listen to books. And I'm going to start with the first one I read, well, not the first one. I've read the first one on my list, the Book of Mormon, Another Testament of Jesus Christ. I've got to go through that one 2 times this year, and I write a little bit about each chapter, so it kind of sinks in for me. I think timing is definitely interesting about when you read books and what type of books you read. Oftentimes I'm not interested in reading certain types of books. I was able to get through and read a lot of these books more than once. Real Love by Greg Baer. It's an interesting book on what real love is and how to express unconditional love and receive and to do better with loving. Atomic Habits by James Clear. That's a really good book. Good book on we are what we do every day. You know, the habits that we do. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. That is a great book, a lot of philosophy and of overcoming obstacles. The Go-Giver by Bob Burg. Great stories, an insightful read. The Go-Giver, I've seen it before a number of times and hadn't had a chance to read it, and that's a good one. Limitless by Jim Kwik, and I'll put all these down in the post. There's about 30 books I read this year. I've got a list of books that I want to read next year, and I want to add to that too, so let me know what you are reading. The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. It's a bit of an older book, but it was really motivational. The Traveler's Gift. This was actually one my wife's work was reading as part of their book club. The Traveler's Gift. I really like that book. Great inspiration. What else do we have here? Rocket Fuel. Rocket Fuel is part of a coaching program, and this was in regards to partnering with someone. Rocket Fuel is a good book to read if you're looking to partner with someone, if you're doing that in a business. There's another book called WTF. Usually you know what that stands for, but this one says Willing to Fail. Willing to Fail. It's a great book. Some guys that have done really well, entrepreneurial type book. The E-Myth Revisited. That was a really good book that I've read a couple of times. The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. That's great for your goals, for learning how to achieve things quickly by listening to that 5-second rule, making more decisive actions. The next one is the You Are a Bad Ass at Making Money by Jen Sincro. I'll put this in the comments too. She's really funny and has some great stories and has made self-made millionaire, and so lots of great tips from her. There was another one called The Compound Effect, Learning Success Habits. I really like that book. You Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Now, a lot of swearing in that book, but man, that guy has had quite a life. He goes back into his past and tells you a little about his backstory. That is a fantastic book. Success Through Positive Mental Attitude by Napoleon Hill. Great tips on that. Is anything Napoleon Hill is really good. Let's see, Dare to Lead by Brené Brown. Brené Brown is a great author. Practically everything she writes is of great value. I really like that book in regards to leadership and working with business. The Phoenix Project. Now, this is more of an IT type process entrepreneurial based book. You could look at this book if you're in any type of IT business, and it would help you understand things better on processes and maybe how to better run your business. So The Phoenix Project by Gene Kim, that was a really good book. The Power of Less, that was recommended by a friend, showing us how the value of focus, that the power of less was more about not trying to do 50 things at once, but really focusing in on what's most important first. That was a really good book. The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. You might have heard of John Maxwell. He is a great author. I did get recommended to read that one. I read that one this year. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. That was funny because when you listen to books, sometimes they recommend or they talk about another book in the book. And then you go and you look at that book, and I look at the reviews and stuff on Amazon, and I figure if it's, can I listen to it on Audible? Will this be a book that I'll read, with a physical book? And that was actually a really good book. It's short, but it's interesting concepts on money. Let's see, coming down to the last few. The Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. A great motivational book and things to consider in that book. Extreme Ownership, obviously, because we've read, I went over each chapter with that one. Read it multiple times this year. Really good book. What the Heck is EOS? So this is for its entrepreneurial operating systems. And really good book on the functions of a business and how you can better set up or implement different principles they talk about in your business to run it better. I think that's a really good book, and has great practical use. Like I think there's a PDF that you can go through, and they actually have a whole system on this entrepreneurial operating system. The Power of I Am, 2 words that will change your life. This one is by, I can't remember who this one is by, but it's a little bit religious. Like if you're Christian at all, it does reference the Bible a lot. He does reference the Bible a lot, but I thought it was a powerful book. I wasn't too worried about the Bible references. I thought it was actually really interesting. But yeah, really, really good book, motivational book. Goals and Vision Mastery Course. This is by a number of authors like Les Brown, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar. I've read that a few times, and it's really amazing because you get a lot of the best parts of these guys, and it's all put together. That was one I listened to. Sometimes I read them physically, sometimes I will listen to them. So I want to hear about what your books are. What are you reading? I'd love to hear it. I'd love to put it on my to read wish list for next year. So I'm going to try and get at least 30 books in next year. That's the goal for me. I'm not sure what your goals are. May as well start setting them now. Might as well finish the year strong and get prepared and be ready. So I think learning and growing, putting the time in, the effort in. I never used to be a big reader, right? I used to, back in the day when we were younger, if you've ever played a game called Dungeons and Dragons, there's a lot of role playing, right? And I had a cousin that was into it, and we would play, but he would make me read the backstory or make me read some information on the characters. And I would hate reading so much that I would not have fun playing the game because we would not be allowed to play it unless I actually read through the backstory or the information on it. So thanks, Matt Day. He's made me do the reading. And so it's like timing, right? Some of these books that I read this year, I wouldn't have read years before. And sometimes I'm not in that type of reading mode. Now I'm in a how can I learn as much as possible and retain and grow through the information, through reading and making time, being persistent and taking action, right? So that was that, we talked about that in the previous book, Extreme Ownership. that discipline equals freedom. Well, the discipline I had was to make time, make effort for reading every day. And that's how I was able to get through about those 30 books. And I'll put them up in a little description on what I thought about each book. And then I'll do in the comments my kind of list for next year, my 2021, what I want to read for next year. And I want to hear from you. So if you're seen some of the videos, you've seen some of the things we've talked about, you've seen or posted on some of the stuff that I've posted on, let me know what you're reading. Let me know how we can finish strong this year with a book that you're looking at and what our list can be for 2021. All right, hope you have an incredible day, and we'll talk to you soon.